Globalization, we hear about it a lot. So what exactly is it? German sociologist Ulrich Beck defined it as the process of intensification of cross-area and cross-borders economic and social activities. That seems like a pretty positive definition. Wrong. You may have heard of something called CSR, which stands for Corporate Social Responsibility. Basically, it refers to business practices involving initiatives that benefit society, such as environment, ethical labor practices, philanthropy, and volunteering. Now, CSR is in actuality hard to carry out because greedy corporations work under the sole purpose of gaining profit and disregard all externalities that do not monetarily benefit themselves. Globalization opens up the potential of intensifying these tendencies. CSR is tied to the moral customs of a given community, which establish the rules that corporations followed in exchange for helping them achieve the ultimate goal of raising profit. But when the parameters of which those rules applied are removed, the ties between the corporation and society weaken. In other words, the more they spread their wings, the less of a moral obligation and/or allegiance they will feel to any kind of community. With corporations' loss of moral duty to society is an increase in ungovernable corporate global power. No longer under strict national surveillance, corporations can gain so much power that the nation-state loses much of its political steering capacity and governmental regulation becomes difficult. But there's another aspect, not so dark, to globalized CSR. As cross-country exchange increases, people do start to affiliate with the new concept of global society. In this process, corporations start to recognize a greater burden to intensify their CSR engagement, as they realize it is no longer only their local community that is to chastise them for wrongdoings, but the entire world. And if the public perception plunges, it is likely that their consumption will too. Corporations don't want that. And as a consequence, corporations have started to become more involved in global governance. Multinational corporations have started to redefine the traditional standards of CSR, in which corporations only felt a moral obligation to a particular community, and set new ones according to rules of the newly established global government they are contributing and building. And by the way, stopping globalization to prevent corporations from going crazy isn't a practical approach. Globalization has existed ever since Han Dynasty, 200 BC, and even this attempt was not a humanitarian effort, but solely a vision of business. So unless you could find a way to abolish businesses, don't think stopping globalization will be a solution. Plus, globalization does have its positive sides. Issues such as climate change that affect not only the location from which the problem originated, but the entire globe, have consequently required global attention. So how do we shape global CSR so that corporations can contribute positively to the integrated global society? Well, first of all, corporations already do have an incentive to be good. They don't want to be hated. In addition, national and international governments will help manage their activity. So what can we get out of all this information? That it is possible. Yup, CSR can indeed prosper in a global society. As the world becomes more interconnected, it is crucial that we keep this prospect in mind and work towards making a possibility a reality. There's no easy solution, but the first and foremost step is to recognize that it is possible.